good evening. Hopefully you got your refreshments. We're gonna be here for a little while, just enjoying the legacy of Mr. August Wilson. Thank you so much for just coming out after work. I know it's a Monday. Most of you watched the Grammys and were up late last night. So, well, that was just me. Okay, just me. My name is Kiki Brown from WAMO 1073. I am also the host of What's Good in Your Hood that you can hear on Odyssey, and you'll hear about Odyssey a little bit later. So I want to thank you for allowing me to be a part of the program. The City of Pittsburgh is thrilled to partner with the University of Pittsburgh Library System to present highlights from the August Wilson Archive. This amazing display, which you're witnessing right now, was curated by a high school student, and we're going to hear from Eliza Gonzalez in just a few minutes. Be excited about that part. This display remains throughout February, and online content features interviews, trivia, highlights of in-person exhibit, and no doubt, Mr. Wilson became one of the most important voices in modern theater. One very big fan, he says, a huge fan. We're happy that he's here today, happy that he can carve out some time to share some words of just inspiration and encouragement. Please join me in welcoming to the platform Allegheny County Executive, Mr. Rich Fitzgerald.
Thank you, Kiki, and thank you for doing this. And absolutely a huge fan, have been for many, many years. You know, when you think about that one of America's great playwrights in our entire history was right here, born right here and raised right here, and then wrote about the entire experience of the whole century by decade, 10 decades in a row of the 20th century, and he wrote the experience of the black community, the African American community, and how it existed mostly in the Hill District, but really throughout Pittsburgh and southwestern Pennsylvania. And he did it with such talent that it's not just Pittsburghers who have come to love and see things like Fences and Ma Rainey's Black Bottom and Two Trains Running, et cetera, et cetera. It's national and international, this Pittsburgher that we can be proud of. So as we celebrate Black History Month and throughout the whole month of February, I want to thank the University of Pittsburgh and the mayor and his office. I know you're going to hear from Chief Wheatley in a minute, for being willing to open up the City County building so that everyone can experience who comes here and can see the great history of what August Wilson really represents to all of us here in southwestern Pennsylvania. This is special, and again, thanks to the University of Pittsburgh and their community, and we get to see in real life the movies that are being made here about the two of them that have already been made, and there'll be more. And we have a big star like Denzel Washington who's made his commitment to continuing that legacy and tell the story of what it was like on Bedford Avenue and on Wiley Avenue and in the Hill District during those days, those days that weren't always great for us in our history in Pittsburgh. But August Wilson had a way of telling it that really brings it to life and lets you experience it or almost feel like you were there during those times. So this is a special time. Congratulations to everybody. Let's enjoy and relish the great works that this great playwright, again, who's a big part of American history, Pittsburgh history, as we celebrate Black History Month. God bless. Congratulations.
Thank you, County Executive. When announcing this year's Black History Month celebration, Mayor Ed Gainey explained this exhibit will help us celebrate August Wilson's life and legacy as we share how his plays helped create a deeper understanding of what it means to be Black in Pittsburgh. And while our mayor is unable to see us or join us this evening, it is my pleasure to introduce my good friend, my buddy, and your Chief of Staff, Mr. Jake Wheatley.
All right, thank you. I appreciate you all. Again, I want to apologize the mayor couldn't make it tonight. He would do this way more passionately and way better than I could ever deliver it, but I wanted to be here for him just so that we can show some love, and I got a special love to the family Paul and Kim, I'm not sure, I didn't see Kim around, but the HILL is once again downtown making noise. So I want to ask Paul to come next to me as I make these remarks, because I'm going to change. Unlike the mayor, I'm going to change the order of things. I know y'all said later we're going to do the proclamation, but when I finish saying my little 5 minutes talk, you're going to get this. No, you're going to get this as part of this 5-minute talk. So come on, come closer. I'm saying 5 minutes. I'm going to make it quicker than that. But the importance of why this is so significant, Black History Month is more than just a month. It's more than just remembering dates or names. And I think no one told that better than Mr. Wilson, because his writing depicted the culture and the real life experiences of people who were far too often forgot about, underrepresented, and in many ways misrepresented in the way that their stories were being told. So he authentically told a story about African Americans in this city, and definitely some of those African American experiences from the Hill, and the importance of what Paul and his family are doing to keep that history alive. And for this young lady who had the foresight, a young student, August would be very proud of her for making sure our stories and the significance of his work was elevated. So I'm going to give you a proclamation from the mayor and the city. But I wanted you to know from the bottom of my heart, I said this when you did your groundbreaking, the work that you were doing with your family when nobody thought it could happen is also in the life spirit of your uncle, right? Because no one thought that he was going to amass what he came up to be, right? He was forgotten about, left out, and people thought he wouldn't amount to anything. But he was a self-taught person who never left Pittsburgh, even though his physical may have left Pittsburgh. And the work that you're doing and your family are doing is very significant. So I wanted to say that personally to you again, because I know it wasn't easy. So I want to say thank you. Thank you, sir. All right, and I'm not going to read all of the whereases, but I do want to say this. Whereas August Wilson was born in the historic Hill District on April 27, 1945, and the fourth of 6 children, and never forgot where he came from. And whereas Wilson's life was dedicated to telling the complex story of race through art and plays and literature, including his unprecedented American Century Cycle, 10 plays that conveyed the Black experience in each decade of the 20th century. And whereas August Wilson honed his craft by walking the streets of his Hill District neighborhood as a young man, observing and immersing himself in Black street life, listening to old-timers that talk about their daily lives, which inspired his plays, vibrant characters, and lyrical language. And now I'm skipping down. To now, therefore, I, Ed Gainey, that ain't me, Mayor of the City of Pittsburgh, do hereby proclaim February the 6th, 2023 as the August Wilson Archive Day in the City of Pittsburgh. I am proud and honored that this Black History Month will be honoring hosting the August Wilson Archive at City Hall. May every Pittsburgher draw inspiration and knowledge from Wilson. I'm sorry, it was dark and I couldn't read it all. But thank you, sir. Thank you. Okay. See, that's what happens when you break the... Right here, y'all. Thank you. Thanks.
Thank you, Chief Wheatley. Okay, get my glasses. Creating a month-long exhibit as impressive as what you see here this evening involves many individuals and organizations. I am proud to represent one of this year's celebration sponsors, Odyssey Radio and WAMO 107.3. Another sponsor this year is AARP Pennsylvania, which is also busy bringing news of the exhibit to people across the state. Now I introduce to you the AARP Pennsylvania Associate Director of Outreach, Ms. Colleen Cadman. Please welcome Ms. Colleen to the stage.
Good evening. Community is more than where we live. Community is really about the people. It's about those who go above and beyond to help a place thrive. During Black History Month and year-round, AARP recognizes the members, volunteers, we've got a couple of ours here tonight, and partners, we've got many of those too here tonight, who give back to our communities. I'm Colleen Cadman, and I serve as an Associate State Director of Outreach with AARP Pennsylvania, and I'm also a resident of this fabulous city. On behalf of our nearly 160,000 members in Allegheny County, I want to thank the Mayor's Office and the City of Pittsburgh Office of Special Events and all of you for allowing AARP to join in honoring and celebrating the works and archives of an amazing Pittsburgher, August Wilson. AARP applauds these archives and plays which give voice to the Black community and their struggles while providing an important representation of our city's history. August Wilson's work has helped raise awareness of Black people's experiences and contributions and has helped shape our city's cultural identity. Today we celebrate this legacy. At AARP Pennsylvania, a few of you may have heard of us, we work to empower and support adults age 50 plus in the community through a variety of programs and services. We advocate on issues impacting adults 50 plus and their families, offer health and wellness resources, and provide educational opportunities. Additionally, we promote policies and practices for aging in place and making our neighborhoods more livable communities for people of all ages. Our Livable Communities model believes that people should have safe, walkable streets, age-friendly housing and transportation options, access to needed services, and opportunities for residents of all ages to participate fully in community life. We know that Pittsburgh isn't just a place, it's the people who live here, it's everyone who helps us thrive, and community is at its best when we all work together. We believe that we all thrive together when our efforts drive change for the greater good, and we're just so honored to be here with you all tonight. Thank you.
You know life gets real when you get a letter from AARP. You're like, oh. I gotta start making very important decisions now. All right, thank you so much, Colleen. As you know, University Library System at the University of Pittsburgh has acquired the August Wilson Archive, a unique collection of deep roots in Pittsburgh. And the library is celebrating the archive's opening with a series of events. And the City of Pittsburgh is proud to serve as a partner to showcase highlights of the Wilson Archive. And joining us this evening to explain all of that and all that is happening are two representatives of the University of Pittsburgh, as well as one very talented student who curated the City of Pittsburgh's lobby exhibit. I am pleased to introduce Mr. Ed Galloway, Associate University Librarian for Archives and Special Collections.
You did great, yeah. What a pleasure it is to be here tonight with you to celebrate this enormous occasion. I mean, to have the August Wilson Archive is home. It is back here in Pittsburgh where certainly it belongs. I have to first give you, our library director, Dr. Cornelia Tancheva, wanted to be here tonight to give these remarks, but sadly she was unable to, so she sends her regrets. But this is a kickoff of a whole month long of celebration around August Wilson. We are so pleased that the archive is at the University of Pittsburgh and that we can make it available to community members, to students, to faculty, to teachers, to kids in the Pittsburgh public school system and many other places. And you're going to hear some of that, and you're seeing some of that right now around you with the exhibit that is here. This is just a small sampling of what is in the collection. Over 450 boxes are in the August Wilson archive. They represent his entire writing career. Earlier than when he started writing what we now know as the American Century Cycle, some of his unpublished works, some of his musings, some of his notes, the things you've heard about with these hundreds and hundreds of notepads that he would write on. They are all in the collection. And so this is a small sampling of what you will find. The collection is now open for research use. We encourage you to come down to Hillman Library in Oakland and see the collection for yourself. We are so thrilled that it is here. We are also very grateful to the Heinz Foundation and the Hillman Endowments. I got that backwards. The Heinz Endowments and the Hillman Foundation for their generous funding to help us do what we're doing, to help process the collection, prepare it for research use, to have opportunities for students and researchers to come and use the collection. We are very grateful for their sponsorship. And as I said, this is just a kickoff. This is just the beginning of a month-long celebration. Pitt is hosting the premiere, I guess you could say the premiere of 7 Guitars will be held by the Pitt Theater Arts Department, kicking off on Friday, February 17th. That will run for several weeks, so we hope that you will go. And is culminating in a party, a celebration that the public is invited to on Friday, March 3rd in Hillman Library. So we extend an invitation to all of you to come and celebrate with us the opening of the archive. And during that whole week, we are celebrating with lots of our partners and community friends in Pittsburgh, many of which are here tonight, our friends from the August Wilson House, our friends from the August Wilson African American Cultural Center, our Arts in HD friends, and our Pitt Theater friends, among many. So there will be opportunities throughout that week, both in person and virtual, to check out how we are celebrating and lifting up August Wilson. You can go to augustwilson.library.pitt.edu for more information. So it is now my pleasure to introduce to you Ms. Dielle Thomas. She is our outreach and engagement curator for the August Wilson collection. Her entire job is nothing but making sure that the collection is in the hands of our researchers, our students, our faculty, our friends, our high school students, however she can reach. And she's going to tell you a little bit about the collection and then introduce our student curator for tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, Ed. Good evening, everyone. As Ed said, I'm Dielle Thomas. I am the Outreach and Engagement Curator for the August Wilson Archive at the University of Pittsburgh Library System. So Ed mentioned that the archive came to us in over 450 boxes, and it chronicles all of Wilson's writing career. And so that ranges from drafts and scripts of the American Century Cycle all the way to unpublished plays. We also have the production history, so we have correspondence, we have contracts, we have playbills related to all of these different productions. We have over 700 writing notebooks, like those yellow legal pads that Wilson would use to start his writing process. And so those, sometimes it's a little bit unorganized, but he'll start writing about characters, he'll start writing about dialogue. Sometimes he'll have his to-do list in there as well. So those are really a treasure trove of little snippets of his writing. We also have all of his awards and his honorary degrees. You'll see on display that we have his diploma from the Carnegie Library of Pittsburgh. We also have correspondence, both personal and business, as well as audiovisual materials, sometimes recordings of plays, sometimes interviews that Wilson conducted. And so, as Ed mentioned, my job is completely focused around outreach and engagement, and we've split that out into 4 areas, being students, teachers, artists, and community organizations. And really our goal here is to keep Wilson's legacy and the Black experience chronicled in his plays alive for current and future generations. And so you'll see here in this exhibit our first student collaboration with Eliza Gonzalez. We are also working now with students from the University Prep Malines in the Hill District. They will also be creating a research or creative project as well as building out an exhibit. So we're super excited for that. And finally, I want to say that we have opportunities for all different folks to get involved in the archive. We have opportunities for community artist scholars, for educators, for researchers. So we encourage you to come out to see what you can learn from the archive. Visit us at Hillman Library in Oakland, 9 a.m. to 4:45 p.m. During the weekdays, and I will be there to greet you and happy to help you with anything you'd like to do with the archive. And then see our website for more opportunities. It's augustwilson.library.pitt.edu. And now, of course, the person I'm sure you want to hear the most from, I would like to bring on stage Eliza Gonzalez.
Hi, everyone. All right, good evening. When I was given the wonderful opportunity to work with the archive, I knew virtually nothing about August Wilson. I simply wanted an escape from the stressful world of high school, and I wanted to have a more engaging learning experience. But the more I worked with the archive, I found that August Wilson's literature was a way back into the world, unflinching in its pain and sorrow, but with a defiant expression of identity and perseverance. As I read each of his plays in the American Century Cycle, I saw him as a classic American writer, a titan of literature, which he is, but he also described himself as a struggling writer. His work has undoubtedly left an indelible mark portraying the Black experience through the past century, and though he has rightfully received numerous awards, his cultural impact is that much greater. But ultimately, what I hope you take from this exhibit is the essence of August Wilson's identity, his beliefs, his art, his interests, because our accomplishments are incredibly important, but who we are matters as well. I would also like to thank Dielle and the Pitt staff for supporting me through the process of working with the archive and the exhibit. Your feedback and guidance were invaluable throughout this process. Thank you to Miss Judy for just being the sweetest human being on this earth and helping me to pursue my passions. Thank you to my family for listening to me ramble and think through my ideas out loud. And thank you to the August Wilson Estate for allowing us to share and educate the Pittsburgh community about August Wilson's legacy. It's honestly a shame that I didn't learn about August Wilson or his work sooner. I highly recommend that you read or see his plays. Shameless plug, Pitt is performing 7 guitars starting February 17th. And regardless of how much you know about August Wilson and his work, my hope is that you will leave knowing a little more about both. Thank you for coming tonight. Enjoy the exhibit.
Thank you. Thank you all for sharing such insightful and inspiring comments. Definitely enlightening and learning so much more, and I'm charged, ready to learn more. Thus far this evening, we learned so much about August Wilson's impact on the community, his role as an important voice in modern theater, and his strong ties to his hometown, which is also my hometown, Pittsburgh, of course, the Hill District, H-I-double, okay. It is now time to hear from those who knew August Wilson best, his family. So it is my pleasure to introduce, you saw him earlier, we're going to bring him back to the stage, Mr. Paul Ellis, Esquire.
Good evening, everyone. On behalf of the family, I want to sincerely thank you. This is an incredible celebration. I was laughing when I heard the young lady say the stressful world of high school. I know people who would kill to get back to high school. That was the funnest part. This celebration cannot be overstated for numerous reasons. August Wilson his name is now known all over the world, and people claim him from everywhere, right? But nothing can change the fact that he grew up here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And for several decades now, we've watched the impact of his work energize the minds and hearts of arts and educators from every discipline, from young students to established professionals. I'm particularly grateful about the focus of August Wilson for Black History Month because it is incumbent upon us to keep his work vibrant, invoking the lessons that served his calling. I was listening to these young ladies speak, and it occurred to me that if you were born in 2005, the same year that August Wilson was called home, you'd be around 17, 18 years of age about now. And you wouldn't necessarily know about August Wilson unless you were exposed to programs such as the one here tonight, without the promotion of his body of work, without Black History Month and some of the activities that they're participating in. You wouldn't necessarily know about him, despite the importance of his work and his impact upon the culture. Not to mention that there was a time where Black artists, by law, were not allowed to showcase their work, with very rare exception. And for those keeping track, it wasn't that long ago. So the motivation here is appropriate. And some of it is as follows, as I see it, which is to restore a sense of hope in our troubled youth while August Wilson's words flourish in our institutions of learning. To blare the siren of equality as Wilson's call for inclusion takes root in the hearts of our children. To carry the torch of freedom so our children can pursue their dreams without fear, anxiety, or uncertainty. And to create a place where activists can take their expressions in literary, visual, and performance art and connect it, if they want, to the political, social, and economic conditions of their existence. And finally, to establish a cultural hub that serves as a source of never-ending pride for the residents of this great city and the region of Western Pennsylvania and beyond, and to do so in the spirit of August Wilson. This very celebration is possible because of the City of Pittsburgh and its cultural appreciation of our world-renowned civic and cultural institutions. We have to have ongoing empathy and respect for the civic health of our communities, and that in part has put us on this innovative course. If you look around, we are literally blazing a trail and developing national models for progressive coordination between governmental entities, community-based arts organizations, and local universities. That is a standard that we need to aspire to and keep going, and we can do it with coordinated programming like we're doing now. With that, I want to sincerely thank Mayor Gainey and his administration, Deputy Mayor Jake Wheatley, the University of Pittsburgh Library System and its administrators. I want to thank them for working with us to create assets with regional and national implications that bear incalculable value upon the residents of the City of Pittsburgh. I also want to thank the Acting Chief Executive of the August Wilson House, my friend Denise Turner. Denise, can you wave your hand, please? And the work that the board is doing. It's just an incredible story. Even if you didn't know the backstory. The backstory, by the way, of how the archives arrived here in Pittsburgh is a story in and of itself. There's always a backstory for something that's significant. And there's one there. I'm just glad it's here. I want you to imagine for a moment there's numerous examples, but just hypothetically, imagine a graduate student who is pursuing a Master's of Fine Arts, for example, having direct access to August Wilson archives, being able to study his work, and understand that this was not a situation where somebody came along with a magic wand and just waved it in, because even if you knew nothing about August Wilson and somebody told you that a high school dropout somehow, some way went on to bring international distinction to the city with which he grew up, even if you didn't know the backstory, you would have to know that there was something very, very powerful that happened there. And you'd want to know what happened. And then if you were, hypothetically, a graduate student pursuing a Master's in Fine Arts, and you came to find out that it was just through sheer hard work and determination, sheer dedication and persistence, and that he walked the same streets as you, that would mean something to you as an aspiring writer, regardless of what you're working on, manuscript, screenplay, it wouldn't matter. You would be receiving proper muse and inspiration and guidance, knowing that somebody did something and then you could follow in their footsteps and do it even bigger and better, and that they walk the same streets as you. That would make a difference to you as you're up and you're growing and you're getting professional self-development and you're learning and receiving all of this literary inspiration. So I'll leave it at that. I just want to stress that's why this is so important, what we're doing, keeping his name alive. I'm so grateful that the archives are here in Pittsburgh. I cannot overstate the importance of it. Our local academic community needs to benefit from, and Pitt is my alma mater, so I'm even more happy that it's there. So thank you for the Pitt for doing what you're doing. I can't wait to find out what this young lady's doing in her capacity as curator for the archives. You know it's amazing. I can't wait. So thank you again, everyone. Thanks for coming out tonight, and I'm looking forward to bigger and better things. Thank you. Okay.
It's okay. Thank you. Thanks, Paul. How y'all feeling? You good? Hello? Wait a minute. Did anybody have some of Roxanne's catering over there? While you all were talking, I was killing this, whatever that was. I was like, I need something that I can eat and still look cute. They were like, we got you, say less. Listen, shouts to Roxanne's catering over there. Please go on over. It is time to enjoy some refreshments. It has truly been a memorable evening. Take all this in. We are so busy, we're always on our phones. Disconnect for a minute and just embrace this experience. Be present. I'm so just inspired by our young people. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, because we hard-headed. Thank you. Take it all in, be present, put down your phones, disconnect, and enjoy this history being recognized and remade and honored. I know Mr. Wilson just be like, well, look at this. I don't know if that's what he was saying or how he was saying, but I could just imagine, well, look at this. I don't know. Festivities continue this evening, so please enjoy the refreshments and entertainment. Be sure to tell people about this. That's how history, that's how it becomes that, because we tell people about it, people get interested and they want to learn more about it. So tell them, tell your families, tell your neighbors, even the one you don't like, the nosy neighbor, say, you know what you need to do, Miss Carol? Go on down to the City County building or to Pitt and check out this wonderful exhibit. And it's happening throughout February, including this impressive exhibit. It's an online component as well. My name is Kiki Brown, WAMO 1073. I thank you so much for allowing me to be a part of this extraordinary event. Please take some pictures, tell folks about it, share it on social media. Thank you for spending your evening with us. Thank you. Good night.